confirm that right now, but we will continue to bring you nonstop coverage right here on News Now. Make sure to stay with us. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, go ahead and tweet me at SalmiaFox10. We'll read those here live on air, and we will make sure to get to the bottom of this story. Again, students apparently receiving an email from UCLA Bruin Alert. This email specifically stating things like, shooting at Engineering 4, go to secure location and deny entry, lockdown now. So according to the UCLA Bruin Alert, they did describe that as a shooting. They did not say possible shooting in the email. So again, we are still reporting possible shooting because that is what police are saying. We haven't gotten official word from police. However, the notice sent to students today, that notice sent at 10:03 a.m., saying that a shooting took place at the Engineering 4 building. Go to a secure location, deny entry, lockdown now. Again, this is coming from the emails sent to students there at UCLA. Again, possible shooter on UCLA's campus. Working to get you guys more information. No details on anything regarding the possible suspect. It's very preliminary information right now. I'm just telling you guys what I'm finding on Twitter. Ron Hoon joining me now. Ron, this is a breaking news situation. It's just, I mean, I'm seeing tweets like, this is great, at UCLA teaching a class, and we don't know how to lock down our building. I mean, that's
I can imagine.
That's an interesting tweet, though. You know, this tweet coming from Morton Bay, which, you know, he tweeted this tweet not even a minute ago, you know, because of this possible shooting. You know,
Right.
he is getting his PhD at UCLA teaching a class, and he's tweeting something like, this is great, at UCLA teaching a class, and we don't know how to lock down our building, when everyone's been told to shelter in place, lock down. We're looking at these live images coming in right now. It's just...
And we did see
it's
the
shocking.
ambulance a minute ago.
We saw an ambulance. We see a huge police presence. Again, I'm just working to take this all in because this is, I mean, Los Angeles is home to me.
Right.
And I almost went to UCLA. I just
to
go to USC.
And you've spent time right there on campus.
Oh, tons of time on the UCLA campus. I took a sitcom writing class at UCLA just a couple of years ago.
What kind of a class?
A sitcom writing class.
Oh, okay.
So I'm very familiar with this campus, and it's just one of those things where, you know, it seems like we go a while without, you know, talking about a shooting.
Yeah, I know.
And then this happens, and you're just reminded, wow, this actually is a problem here in America.
It is a problem. It's just aggravating. It's heartbreaking. You see those images right there of the police kind of moving in double time as they work their way. You know, it's been so many years since I have been on the campus of UCLA. So many years. But some of the images I see now, it just... it's such a vast campus with so many buildings and so many places to hide. And
it's a huge campus.
My immediate thought was when they said the UCLA campus is in lockdown, that seems like it's almost an impossibility. Right.
It's a huge campus. It's not something where the campus is all enclosed and roads kind of go around it. I mean, roads travel through the campus.
Yeah.
It is so huge, and it's not a flat campus either. It is a bit hilly compared to other campuses. Yeah.
Now there are some reports surfacing that there could be 2 possible victims, and we're just going to continue to do what we can to hear from the sources in LA with LAPD. In fact, LAPD might be a good one to check on Twitter.
Right.
Here.
TMZ is reporting 2 reported victims being treated. I'm going to go ahead and pull up this TMZ article. TMZ, not just focusing on entertainment news today. I mean, the thing is, when something happens in Los Angeles, it becomes a story, whether you cover entertainment or regular news, because, you know, LA is the entertainment capital, and you see something like this.
That's right. We're working to get more information.
So you can see TMZ reporting that, according to cops, they have reported at least 2 victims available.
Confirming that it happened in Belter Hall.
Yeah, Belter Hall, which is an engineering building. Apparently apparently, according to TMZ, snipers are in place. Let's go ahead and keep these live images in, because I know many of you guys are tuning in just to see these live aerials from campus. I mean, so crazy.
Well, we had, just for the perspective of it all, we had experienced a number of shootings on school campuses, not a lot on college campuses. And then I'll never forget the day I was in the newsroom when we got the first word of a shooting at Virginia Tech, at one of the major universities in the country.
Right.
And at first, I believe the estimate was that 5 people might have been hurt. And then when they got back on, we have an intercommunication type device with New York, with Fox headquarters in New York, that feeds us most of the live pictures that we show you on a daily basis. And when he came back on and said, now we're being told there were 31 victims, it was like you just felt sick to your stomach.
Right.
So we're going to wait to hear exactly what happened in a situation like this. There are reports apparently emanating from LAPD of 2 victims, but we don't know whether or not that means fatalities or whether that means a couple of people were hurt as a result.
Again, I'm just continually monitoring the search term UCLA right now on Twitter. I mean, hundreds of tweets coming in, minute by minute. I know students were sent an email, Bruin Alert email. Students at UCLA were sent that email at 10:03 this morning. It's now 10:31. 28 minutes have passed since students received that email telling them to shelter, stay safe.
So if you're in your dorm or living off campus, you'll know exactly what's going on. And I'm sure there are plenty of people who check their phones in class, but I bet there are a lot of people who aren't constantly checking.
Right, but I mean, if you're in class and this is happening, someone has announced it at this point. I want to go ahead and check the academic calendar. UCLA is on a quarter system. It's not on a semester system. Typically, schools on semester system are already done with the school year. But since they're on quarter system, it's possible that their school year doesn't end till later this month.
Okay, let's take a look.
So I want to just check the spring quarter. Yes, quarter ends Friday, June 10th. So they're still in school. Classes don't end till this Friday. So this is still a school day for students at UCLA. This is not summer vacation where there's less people on campus.
Yeah.
People are on campus, people are off for the Memorial Day holiday, but this is just wrapping up the end of their regular school year.
Sure. And you forget about that here in Arizona because it gets hot so fast here that generally by now all the schools are out, by the first day of June. Generally, somewhere in that last week of May or the next to the last week is when our schools get out. But yeah, you're right. You go to other places and...
well, look at the weather there. It's cloudy, it's foggy.
Yeah.
Out in Southern California right now.
First day of the month and June gloom is happening in LA.
Right. So the campus is on lockdown. It is just... it's supposed to be a normal Wednesday, your last Wednesday of the quarter, the last Wednesday of your possible school year before you go into finals mode. And then this happens. So you imagine that, that last, day of class before finals is a really important time to be in class.
Yeah.
To be getting that information before you have to take your finals the following week.
Sure. Yeah. You're so focused on that. And then something like this happens that looks like it's had an impact on the School of Engineering.
Right.
Over there. Just, hoping to be able to pass additional info along as it comes in. From what we understand, something reportedly as a shooting happened, at least the word went out at 10:03. So,
so
checking the time, almost exactly 30 minutes ago. So it must have probably happened, you would think, within 5 or 10 minutes prior to that.
I know. I'm seeing reports on social media saying that initial reports came in around 9:55 or so. So, again, all of this is developing in the last 30 or 40 minutes. We just started getting these aerials here on News Now about 15 minutes ago. And, lots of tweets coming in, prayers for UCLA. A lot of people hoping no one's hurt. We've heard from TMZ that 2 patients were treated Now the question is, were they treated at the scene? Have they been taken to a hospital? I mean, if there was a shooting, best case scenario, people are treated at the scene, then their wounds aren't as severe.
True.
But
yes, and we saw one ambulance kind of moving kind of slowly, but you can't really read anything into that.
Right. I mean, look at the number of police units on hand. Just a couple minutes ago, there were half this number.
Sure.
So it looks like more authorities arriving to the scene.
You know what's interesting about this is that no doubt the police have their protocols and they're following them, and this is a day in, day out kind of threat that they're aware of and is going to be front of mind for anybody in law enforcement. But if you're a student at the school, I'm not surprised that we see some comment on social media that we don't know what to do. They said shelter in place, they said lockdown, we don't know how to lock this building down.
And I'm just wondering, is this something that, schools, universities, is this a procedure that they have to practice now? Growing up in California, we never had to go through, any sort of like lockdown training. There was never anything about what do you do in case of, we learned the fire procedure, stop, drop, and roll. We learned how to get under our desk in a time of an earthquake. That's what we learned in California growing up. We never learned about something like this. I'm wondering if students nowadays have to learn about active shooter situations, because this is something that's becoming more commonplace in recent years. Unfortunately, it's terrible to say that, but that's the reality of the situation.
You wonder why. Why is it? Why is it becoming more commonplace? I mean, you hate to think that we as a country will ever get desensitized to that kind of violence, but to be able to pinpoint why we keep seeing this type of scene repeated over and over and over is a question that somehow we can't seem to come up with an answer for.
Right.
And it is, as I said, it is frightening and it's frustrating and it's heartbreaking all at once to see yet another school campus having to deal reportedly with some possible violence. All we know, and this is coming from a number of media sources, is that it appears there are 2 victims.
Right. Looks like they're zooming in. Looks like all the streets, all access to the campus is blocked off. What's interesting is, there are roads that basically just go around campus, along campus, that help connect major thoroughways in Los Angeles. You can go through the UCLA campus to connect a road like Wilshire Boulevard to Sunset Boulevard. Now, whether you live in LA or not, you've heard of those streets.
Yes, right.
They're major streets.
They run parallel.
I was telling the viewers, UCLA really is just right there in Westwood. It borders the Bel Air neighborhood. It is in a very nice part of Los Angeles. And a very busy area, by the way, in terms of traffic going east and west.
I think the thing that impresses me is how much more sort of urban looking this campus is from what my recollections were. I bet it's been 25 years since I've been on campus. Every college campus in America is like that. You walk the ASU campus 25 years ago compared to today, and it almost had like a park-like feel as you walked 25 years ago. Today you walk through, and it feels like you're in the midst of a city, sort of. And I think it's probably the same way in Los Angeles. So to say that it's going into lockdown, I don't know. That's like trying to corral. I glanced at that map that you had up. It's like trying to corral 20 blocks of a city, maybe more.
The population of UCLA is larger than a lot of towns.
Yes, right.
I want to acknowledge one of our viewers, Warden, saying it keeps happening over and over because schools and universities are defenseless areas, easy for crazies to attack. That's the answer. I have seen other tweets, people talking about, wow, another shooting in a gun-free zone. Everyone has a different opinion out there on the internet. Some people just wanting to focus their energy on offering prayers and support for UCLA, hoping for the best. I'm seeing all sorts of tweets out there. I am reading them. Lots of people tweeting, my UCLA friends, please stay safe.
Right. Yeah, and there's definitely an argument to be made for, more armed
Security?
Security, more of a law enforcement presence, etc., as a possible deterrent. But I guess when I was first asking the question, I was asking more from the standpoint of kind of where we are as a society and why this is now viewed on anybody's part as, as something that unfolds because of someone's, anger, someone's frustration, someone's depression.
We don't know.
We don't know. I mean, it could have been an accidental shooting for all we know.
We really have very limited information
But
right now.
Societally, speaking from a standpoint of our society, what is happening?
I do want to report, this is now being reported on Fox News National, so I feel like I can report it.
Okay.
2 victims in UCLA campus shooting. So we can confirm now that it's no longer a possible shooting.
Okay.
The shooting has indeed been confirmed, and according to Fox News National, they are saying that there are 2 victims in this campus shooting.
Yep, right.
No further details. I mean, people are wondering, well, how can a gun get on campus if it's a gun-free zone? No one is, no one's being scanned before going into any building. And that's the thing. Like, there isn't security measures in place, like a courthouse, for example.
Correct.
Where you're, taking everything out of your pocket, going through screening.
Yes,
I mean,
right.
At the end of the day, it's still not difficult to do something like this.
And I just have to tell you, changes have happened, I think, especially in the K through 12 system, since one of the, in our lifetimes, one of the worst events that's ever occurred, which was the shooting at Sandy Hook.
Right.
And now you do go to a lot of schools, elementary type schools, and while they don't have metal detectors, they have tightened up, closed up campuses where you can't, even if it was an open campus type feel, they've fenced it off. The more modern buildings are being built all on an interior structure. And you have to go through, even to gain access to any of the classrooms, you have to actually go through the administrative area of a school. That's changed just in the last 3 years. But the impracticality of making any kind of a change on a college campus that basically is like a city unto itself is out there.
It is just, and now, I mean, you're seeing things like 2 victims in the campus shooting. You're just wondering, is this, like you said, what was the person going through, the gunman going through when deciding to do this? Was this something where it's a targeted shooting?
Right.
Sometimes something where there's, 1 or 2 victims, and maybe have been
Sure.
a personal issue that they had with the other individual
Yep.
that resulted in this shooting. It could be a situation like that. It could be someone that just was looking for destruction and, was hoping to kill lots of people. We don't know. Again,
We
this is
don't
all
know.
speculation. We don't have a lot of details regarding this shooting. It's just,
Yeah, and interestingly, this is happening right on the doorstep of California's, a chance for people to actually vote and make their
Right.
feelings known.
Right.
And violence, gun control
right.
is probably going to be an issue going into November, and I think already has been.
I mean, Bernie
in some
Sanders
regards.
is in California right now.
Correct.
He is speaking right now. I mean, here's just a quick shot of Bernie Sanders speaking in California. I have no idea whether he's even been informed on this shooting, but he's speaking up closer to Santa Cruz, that area. You can see a huge agricultural background. Meanwhile, happening in the same state, maybe a 5-hour drive from where Bernie Sanders is this situation unfolding at UCLA.
Yeah. Well, so it is something that Hillary Clinton has tried to really kind of hammer Bernie Sanders on. That's the one remaining race that's out there, and a lot of interest in California as to how that will play out next Tuesday. Her argument is that he hasn't been strong enough on gun control issues, at least to the philosophy of what she has. And so she's trying to, basically has tried to make that an issue between her and Senator Sanders. Apparently, it's obvious they're not going to debate between now and next Tuesday. But it was certainly one of the issues as you looked at these 2 candidates, if you're a Democrat, where they do seem to have some diverging opinions. So it, fortunately or unfortunately, it has to enter the political sphere because of the time that we're in.
Right.
Particularly with California voting.
Right.
Now in
6 days away.
6 days.
Yeah, next Tuesday is when the California primary takes place, and it's a big one. I mean, that's, a whole another topic, but Bernie Sanders is really trying to win over California. I mean, he has multiple events a day all over California, hoping to win it. Hillary Clinton, not as many California events. I think she's in New York this afternoon.
Correct. And I have actually been checking for the last several days. I haven't yet seen a poll where he has moved ahead of her yet in California.
Right.
But you've certainly seen
the gap tightening.
The gap tightening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Again, those of you just joining us wanting information on this UCLA shooting, we know that the shooting took place at an engineering building on campus. The university itself is on lockdown. The school is in session. Now, it is June 1st. However, UCLA is a school where their spring quarter doesn't end until June.
Mm-hmm.
Students don't typically wrap up, go home for the summer, or do any of their travel or internships until mid-June. So this is a normal Wednesday of classes, except it's not so normal now because something like this has happened. Now they're all told to stay in place, shelter, and I mean, once this is all said and done, once authorities are done investigating, it's still just going to be a weird week to be at school, Yeah.
No, there's no doubt about it. I guess when you hear campus shooting, your fear is that it potentially could involve large numbers of victims. And the one detail that we can actually pass along at this point is we haven't seen that number change now in 20 minutes or so.
Right.
That it is 2 victims. So whether that is an argument between 2 people or not, we don't know. Now you mentioned that because earlier last year there was an incident. Somewhere down in the South where there was a professor and a student, and 2 people ended up being
let's look
shot.
at this right now. What is happening exactly right now? Officials are going into the building. Is it still an active shooter situation? Do they not have the suspect yet? I mean, I'm just wondering what is going on, that all of these authorities, all of these officials are, they're all geared up.
Sure.
Looks like they're trying to get into the building, or I don't know.
This just has to be so concerning for every parent or family member of anyone who is a student at UCLA.
Now,
just see pictures like this.
One of our viewers, Dee, just tweeted me. Liz Habib out of Fox in Los Angeles, she just tweeted, the entire city of LA is now on tactical alert because of possible active shooter on campus. So that was coming from Liz Habib, who does work for Fox 11 out in Los Angeles. Thank you, Dee, for sending me that tweet.
Yeah, for sure, Dee.
It's very concerning if the shooter hasn't been caught.
Right.
If it is an active shooter situation, I'm just hoping that everyone is staying safe. If you're not on the UCLA campus, now is not the time to go. Obviously, all roads are blocked off to the UCLA campus at this point, so if you're not already on campus, I don't think you have access to it at this point.
I guess one of the pieces of fallout that will come from this is that they will, no doubt, practice what you would think would be a pretty broadly based how do you respond kind of scenario amongst students and staff.
Right, and I know that right now we're reporting 2 victims in the UCLA campus shooting. Fox News hasn't confirmed whether victims mean 2 people injured or 2 people killed.
Right.
I do want to acknowledge this headline. I'm not going to say it, but I will say that TMZ is reporting this on their website right now. UCLA shooter campus on lockdown, 2 dead. Now this is according to TMZ, guys. Law enforcement telling TMZ this specifically. We have not got confirmation from Fox News or Fox in Los Angeles. However, that was being reported by TMZ. Fox is reporting 2 victims.
Yeah.
And
okay, and that was an update from TMZ
20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that could change. Obviously, this is just a very concerning story.
I'm sure there are going to be skeptics who will say, don't be quoting TMZ. They're a Hollywood source, but
TMZ,
they
they get a lot of it right.
Correct. I'm trying to think the last time they put something up that was wrong.
Right.
And
Harvey Levin, the guy who runs TMZ, has a lot of sources with police, with law enforcement authorities, with the courts. I mean, there's a reason TMZ has become successful at what they do over the course of the last 10 years,
Yeah.
Again, lots of tweets coming in praying for the students, faculty, victims, and family members at UCLA. Lots of people just tweeting, lockdown after shooting in engineering lab. Police investigating shooting, apparently at least 2 victims, shooter remaining at large. Now that there are reports that the shooter remains at large, that the shooter has not been caught, obviously you can't help but be concerned.
Sure.
I mean, either way, this is a terrible thing that's happened, but it's one thing if we're reporting it and authorities have the suspect in custody. It's a whole another scenario if they don't have the suspect in custody, if they don't have details on the suspect or suspects. I mean, I still remember having this same sort of feeling when we were covering San Bernardino back a few months back, also in Southern California, where the gunman was still on the loose, or in that case, multiple gunmen in that scenario. So.
Yeah. And it took hours, and it took incredible police work all coming together under the pressure of the clock.
Right.
I mean, you can do the standard police investigative work after a crime has occurred, where you can move it along at any kind of pace that you so choose. But in a case like this, where if you do feel that in your judgment there is still a real threat, a moment-by-moment threat, then you've got to work at such a pace that if 2 people either were found dead or died on the way to the hospital or died at the hospital, and you can gain access to that building.
We're getting some new aerials. All right, guys, we're getting new aerials coming in from Southern California. I don't know when they're going to do that switch, but it is pretty crazy. It's very concerning for me. There we go. A new set of aerials. Now we have multiple aerials coming in from the scene. Again, UCLA is a big school. It's a top 25 university. It's surprising.
Yes, yeah, it is.
So what do
So the latest that we have is that the focus is on this one building, an engineering building. Possibly you at home as you're watching, or maybe you're just watching us as you're getting ready for lunch, or you're at work on your phone.
All right, guys, now we're getting a much clearer look at the scene. This is the feed coming in from Fox National. And we do have the aerials as well. So we have these aerials coming in. You can see law enforcement on that corner right here. Again, these are aerials coming in from our Fox affiliate in Los Angeles. And the entire city on tactical alert right now. I mean,
that headline is...
That's insane. Los Angeles, 4 or 5 million people in that city.
Sure.
UCLA, again, in a very busy area. UCLA, in the heart of Westwood, right next to Bel Air.
Oh, you've told me about...
There's, there are major companies. LA's an interesting place because it's not a downtown where there's just one area of high-rises and that's it.
Sure.
You have multiple parts of the city that have those tall buildings.
Sure.
In UCLA, that Westwood area is one of them, on along Wilshire Boulevard, where people are traveling constantly. There's so much traffic. It's right next to the 405 freeway. I mean, that area is a very, very busy area. So if the shooter hasn't been caught, if the shooter is on the loose,
right.
Everyone in that area just needs to take precaution.
Right. You wonder when you hear a headline like that, what are you supposed to do? I don't know. If they said that to us in Phoenix, what are you supposed to do? So we're on tactical alert. Certainly you want to help, but it's at least at this point they haven't passed along any information to the general public in terms of the type of description of the person they are looking for in a case like this. And I guess all we can say is that if you have two people who had been shot, and we're waiting for confirmation as to whether or not they were actually killed. You've got that from TMZ, but we're waiting for more other sources that we work with. Is how do you respond when a city is placed in a tactical situation? Basically, I guess it's their way of saying we have two people who've been shot. We don't know where the shooter is.
Right. Again, those of you just joining us, shooting at the UCLA campus, specifically the engineering building. This is not summer school, guys. School is still in session. The spring quarter is just about to wrap up in a week or two. This is the last week of classes. Next week was supposed to be finals, and that is when UCLA was going to end its traditional school year. That's when students who were seniors were going to graduate.
Yeah.
And here we are now, their last Wednesday of classes, being interrupted by this really unfortunate situation.
Well, you've got LAPD, boy, they were out there fast. I mean, by the time we started taking the aerial pictures, you could see all kinds of squad cars.
Right, and I'm seeing tweets now from national news networks that FBI is also on the scene,
and
on campus.
And ATF that either is on campus or will be there shortly. And all of that makes sense. You've got several layers of government agencies that will no doubt be able to help in terms of playing a role. I can see they're looking for me on the TV side, so I'm going to let you continue the coverage here.
Great, Ron. And it looks like we're also getting a feed from the ground, and as soon as we get a clear shot from the ground, guys, I'll also carry that live for you here on News Now. We're going to continue, in the meantime, bringing you these aerials live from UCLA. Again, guys, the UCLA campus is in lockdown. The entire city of Los Angeles, tactical alert. According to TMZ, 2 people dead. We have not gotten confirmation, however, that 2 people were killed. Fox National is reporting that 2 people were shot. The condition of those people have not been officially released. TMZ saying that those 2 people were killed. However, according to law enforcement officials that we spoke with, that Fox National spoke with, there are 2 victims. It's unclear whether those victims have survived the attack or if they indeed passed away following this tragic shooting at UCLA. Mike joining me now. Mike?
Wow, this is just another day where you just never know what's going to happen. And right now, unfortunately, we're dealing with. It still seems like the shooter is outstanding right now.
Right, and
that's the scary part.
That's what's getting everyone really concerned. I mean, anytime there's a shooting, there's obvious concern, and then there's even more concern when that shooting takes place on a school campus. But when the shooter hasn't been caught.
Yeah.
Everyone is worried because if they're shooting on campus and they haven't been caught, UCLA, where it is specifically in Los Angeles, I mean, the whole city of Los Angeles is a busy area.
Sure.
If this person escapes and, finds their way into Westwood Village where people are walking and this and that, it's just, you want everyone to be as safe as possible. We don't know any information on this.
No, and absolutely. And then to think about it, though, just moments ago we were seeing just the police were running. It was
it's scary.
Really scary.
You're
absolutely.
Just looking at this and thinking, What happened? Is this someone who just had a mass shooter mentality and was just ready to shoot and kill anyone?
Yeah.
Or is it something that's a more personal situation?
Yeah.
Was it something where it's a boyfriend mad at an ex-girlfriend? Is
Sure.
it a scenario where two people got in a fight and
But see,
one
if-
person said they were going to,
Yeah.
seek revenge? We don't know anything right now, but
I was thinking that too, but then what led me to believe that it might not be something as far as knowing the victim was because I think it would be over by now. We would have.
But I mean, he could still be on the run. Whether
Could be on the
I mean,
run,
if
yeah.
you are planning, that we see it all the time, unsolved murder mysteries where
Yeah.
people kill someone and then are on the run. But I mean, the fact that it happened on a UCLA campus,
Yes.
you knew it was going to get attention. All of this attention now here on this campus, FBI involvement, LAPD, campus police, the school completely on lockdown. I mean, this is a regular day of school here at
Yeah.
UCLA. It is a normal Wednesday, or it was a normal Wednesday until this happened. Students were alerted by authorities.
Show
Let me go
run
ahead
18 for a minute.
Yeah, I'm going to
We
go
got
ahead
him
and do
running
that.
again. So yeah, this is
And we also have
obviously
this shot too right
still
here.
very a fluid situation here, and boy, I just hope this gets resolved pretty
Goodness,
soon.
there's just been so much news out of California this past week.
Yeah.
I swear, it's just been crazy.
Yes, it has been. Yep.
Let's go back to
Yeah,
this
go-
shot. Oh my goodness.
So you could tell that it's still very, very fluid right now, and
Again, police confirming 2 shooting victims. TMZ is the only one reporting. Again, I'm going to show you guys this right here. Only TMZ is reporting that the 2 victims were killed. We
Okay.
cannot
Yeah,
confirm this.
not yet,
That's
but-
why I'm showing you the TMZ headline on your screen, because I cannot make an official statement regarding
Yeah.
this. But this is the TMZ headline.
and look at UCLA top trend in the world right now.
Yeah.
87,000 tweets already.
I mean, UCLA, it's what everyone is tweeting about. Prayers for UCLA. It's one of those things where it's an internationally known university.
Oh yeah.
Whether you
Sure.
grew up in California or Chicago or
Yeah, everyone knows
Maine
UCLA.
or Algeria, where it's an internationally known school.
Mhm.
People come from all over the world to attend this university.
Yeah.
And this is the engineering building,
Yeah, and I mean more than 40,000 people go here.
A lot of students go to UCLA. Yeah.
So you could just imagine when they have
Combined grad school and
Sure,
undergrad,
yeah.
40,000, yeah.
when they have to do a lockdown like this. I mean that is crazy. And I was hearing on before I came up here on Fox National, they were reporting that some of the students in different buildings are using
More-
belts to secure the door. Look at this
Wow.
scene, what we're watching right now.
Oh, wow. And look at this other shot that we have right here.
This is,
We had a closer shot
yeah,
right
we
here.
got an actually closer
Look at
shot
this.
here. Wow.
Again, guys, we're going to continue to bring you live aerials here on News Now. We are not cutting away from this story.
Nope. No, this is a live breaking news situation, and really still a fluid situation. I mean, it's hard for us to get any info because police are still dealing with this. It's not like,
Well, because if the shooter is still out there, I mean, everyone's now describing it as an active shooter
Yeah,
situation.
yep.
If the gunman's out there, I mean, you have to have as much, law enforcement as possible.
sure.
And they don't have the time to, step away to give the media an official
No.
update.
Oh,
They're busy
no.
doing their job, guys,
Yep.
and all we can do is sit back and watch and hope for the best.
Yeah, this is, so we know there's at least 2 victims. Still hearing reports that the shooter or shooters are outstanding. You could tell by the way the police are acting that they don't have it under control yet.
Right.
So we will continue to monitor this for you, folks. Yeah, I was saying earlier that right before I jumped on here, Fox National was saying that students were in buildings and having belts to try to secure the doors.
I mean, that's the thing. We saw a tweet coming from someone who was teaching a class at UCLA. I'm here, but we have not been taught how to actually lock down the building.
Yeah. Oh, I just couldn't imagine. I mean, that would probably be just your worst thoughts realized to be in a building where you just hear the shots fired and you're like, oh my gosh, what is happening here? So hopefully this gets resolved pretty soon, but
I don't know.
it's okay. We're gonna be changing a source here. Oh, we got a ground shot finally.
Oh, there we go.
So now we have a ground shot available to you. And this just shows you just a little bit more. Wow,
Oh my goodness! Look
that
at
camera
shot.
person got a real nice close up. He's right there in the thick of it. So.
Again, we're hearing reports that the shooting took place in an engineering lab. The entire school is on lockdown, and the entire city is on tactical alert.
Yeah.
The entire city of Los Angeles. That is just very concerning for those in Southern California. Now, I want your take on this, Mike. Ron and I were talking about it, but, you know, a lot of people discussing the issue of gun control. You know, California,
Sure.
It's, you know, a major player in politics right now.
Oh,
The California primary is 6 days away. The California primary is on Tuesday. Bernie Sanders has been campaigning nonstop in California. I know Hillary Clinton has some plans to come to California this weekend and campaign. And I can only imagine that, you know, the next event Bernie Sanders holds later today in California, he's going to have to talk about what happened at UCLA.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they're all going to have to be talking about it. And if anything, this just really, once again, will boost Donald Trump. Because, I mean, remember how his ratings went up right after San Bernardino as well? Because right after that, he was talking about, well, you know, if you were allowed to have guns, you could shoot back at least.
Right. But also, I will say that one of the reasons Donald Trump's ratings went up after San Bernardino is that involved terrorism.
Yeah, that too.
That
It was a
involved
double.
a woman
It was
who
a double. Yep.
had just come into this country through a fiance visa. I mean, that was a different scenario. Right now, we don't have any details on the gunman. We have no details on.
But look at
who
just
is
look at this,
involved.
Samia. Wow.
It's absolutely crazy. I'm going to move us out of the screen so the viewers get a full view of what's happening right now.
It's very rare that you get such a close-up shot during this
clear
active
view, yeah.
scene here. It's very rare that you get this.
Now I'm getting a tweet from Colin Collins saying, listening to the police scanner feed from LA, there are currently 3 search teams scattered throughout the campus. I mean, Colin, given how huge the UCLA campus is, I would think that there would be at least 3, if not 4 or 5, because it is a massive campus.
Yes.
I wouldn't just be searching the UCLA campus. I would be searching the Westwood Village area. I mean, you know, if this gunman had access to a car, hop on the car. The 405 freeway is right there. I mean, how quickly you could get away in this scenario, I don't know. Let's go ahead and listen to this reporter who's speaking.
He's right in there.
What do you say? There's guys with hands on their heads coming out. They're there, coming out. Victor, take a look at this, guys. Victor.
Again, guys, these are just people that are safely being taken out of the building, being evacuated. Their hands are up on their head. That shows that they have no weapons on them.
Wow, when you see stuff like that, I mean, those images. You saw that in Columbia. You saw that in all the different types of school shootings when the students are coming out.
In Oregon.
Yeah, they have to put out their, you know, Virginia Tech. You know, it's unfortunate that we have a list of these names, right?
I know, the fact that we just know offhand.
Yeah, you start naming Columbine, you name Virginia Tech.
Well, Columbine was a while ago, but yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
Just in recent.
Well, Columbine was the one that just pretty much set it all off for mass school shootings.
Well, yeah, and it looks like LAPD is holding a press conference. I'm going to go ahead and see if we can go ahead and get that press conference
great.
in.
That'd be.
Hey, Victor, we can show some of the locations, the difficulties of all of this, if you want. Got a witness.
All right, so once again, we're getting some great ground shots of, looks like people coming away from the campus here into safety. You see that they have a perimeter set up. Police here. Oh, we're going to have an interview here. Pull it up.
We were in, Engineering 5.
Okay. Yeah, Shepard, he just came out from Engineering 5. I'm sorry, your name?
Nick Belly.
Nick, so did you hear anything when this went down about an hour ago?
We got 2 emails from Bruin Alert System just letting us know about an active shooter. They told us to lock down and stay in our office. We were in there for about an hour, and then police came in and had us evacuate. So we are here now.
The engineering hall is pretty large, obviously. Did you guys hear anything, see anything?
Didn't hear anything, didn't see anything except police activity.
A massive police presence inside, I assume?
Yeah.
Now, the hall itself, is it like a normal hall you would see in a college with a lot of different labs and classrooms?
Yeah, a lot of different labs, classrooms, offices. There's 5 floors in Engineering 5, so.
I'm sure it's uneasy is an understatement to say that, there's so many places someone could theoretically hide.
Oh, yeah, very uneasy. So just trying to follow directions.
All right, Shepard, go ahead.
Can I get your name, sir? Nick Belly. Thank you.
All right, so that is a Fox National reporter on the scene working to get more information. Guys, this is so crazy. We have these ground shots over here. You can see so much media on the ground trying to get information.
Wow.
We also have live aerials, which we'll get to a little bit later, but right now I think the ground shots are our best case.
Yeah,
our best view right now of this situation.
It shows you the best way here.
And I'm looking, there's a lot of people periscoping right now. So I'm working to see what I can find.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is just another day here in America where we have to talk about some sort of school shooting. Before it was just, a possible school shooter, and then we heard reports. Well, now there are, in fact, 2 victims involved here, and really right now, we're not hearing anything as far as a suspect caught yet.
Right.
So that's the most scariest part of all this.
I know. Really unfortunate situation, guys. We are seeing a lot of your tweets coming in. I can't read all of them right now, but we do see the tweets coming in. And if you have any thoughts or comments, you can indeed tweet us. We will try to read your comments and questions. I am seeing that now other outlets are reporting that the 2 victims in the UCLA shooting were indeed killed in this scenario. Now, we were reporting that earlier. We were citing TMZ. We did not want to officially confirm it, but we are finding out that it is now being confirmed by police that the 2 victims that were shot in this shooting were indeed killed. All right,
we do have a news conference coming up right for us. So we're going to get some kind of update here.
Stand by, guys. News conference coming up.
Very fluid. Okay, there it is.
Know if there were more than one.
Confirming the reports of 2 victims. I have not had that confirmed to me yet, so I cannot confirm that.
Has there been anybody that has been transported?
Not to my knowledge, no.
What about the suspect or suspects? And you can say 1 or 2.
Yeah, I don't know that either yet. So until we know more information, again, when these events unfold, they happen very quickly, and information comes in from a lot of different resources. So a lot of that information is not accurate at this point.
Can you at least start with what we do know in terms of what happened, when this happened?
So what we do know is around 10 o'clock this morning, a report of a shooting occurred here on the UCLA campus. We have reports that there may be at least 1 or 2 victims. We don't have that confirmed. I don't know the status of the victims or how many actually we have. As soon as we have more information, I'll be glad to provide that.
LAPD Media Relations is telling our assignment desk, I just got a text, that there are 2 confirmed fatalities.
Okay, well, I'm here, and I just talked to the command post, so I will have to talk to my office. That has not been confirmed to me. So as soon as I'm able to confirm that, I'll be more than happy to do that. Let me bring up... I'm sorry? It came to us from UCLA. So UCLA has their own police department. It's a fine police department. They called us and asked for our resources to assist them. and that's why we're here. At this point, let me bring up the PIO for the fire department, who can talk a little bit about their resources.
It's Peter Sanders, SANDRS, Los Angeles City Fire Department spokesman. Sure. The LAFD responded approximately the same time, around 10 a.m. when LAPD received the call for a reported shooting. We immediately entered into unified command with UCLA PD, LAPD, and the FBI. We currently have 11 engine and truck companies on scene, as well as 17 rescue ambulances standing by. We also have other resources that are staged and prepared to respond if necessary. We do have our tactical EMS teams here. They're working in conjunction with LAPD and the FBI SWAT teams. Those are paramedics that are trained to enter closely with and work closely with the SWAT teams to render medical aid. They're on scene, and we have multiple command officers as well as other resources here on scene standing by to assist. Right now, we're standing by to assist with LAPD. We do, as Captain Nyman said, we do understand that there are victims shot. We don't have any other details at this point. Okay. Thank you.
There you heard it. Police and fire department.
And that wraps up that quick briefing. I'm going to send it back to you all in the studio. I'm going to.
Sorry. Hey, Jeff. Who are you with? Because they're going to tow. They said they were going to tow your car, and I stopped them from towing it.
Uh-oh.
All right, guys, now we're going to play that full press conference again. Full press conference for those of you who missed it. We'll keep that in the corner of your screen. We should be getting it momentarily.
Yeah, they're going to tow our live program. So David, he's going to give us.
Again, 2 victims in the UCLA shooting. We just heard from that law enforcement authority. He can't confirm that 2 people were killed. However, I do know that Fox National is now confirming 2 people killed, and TMZ had been reporting 2 people dead. TMZ has been reporting that 2 people were killed for almost an hour now.
Yeah, once again, they always seem to get it.
Again, stations on Channel 1, we're going to go to KTTV's aerials of UCLA.
All right, guys, it looks like we are not getting tape playback of that press conference right now. If we do indeed get that tape playback of the press conference, we'll bring that to you live. In the meantime, Mike and I will be here continuing to bring you guys all these updates. You guys can go ahead and tweet us if you have any tweets that you want to show us. I appreciate a lot of our viewers just quoting tweets and sending them to me to give me all the updates. You guys are part of this news gathering process, so I appreciate it. It's hard for me to, look for my own tweets when you and I are trying to figure it out and
we got
describe
a lot
what we
going
have on
up
the
here.
screen. And
Well, I know. I just can't believe
insane.
that once again. Wow, that's a great shot too. This ground photographer is just doing an amazing job grabbing all this, because our aerials, the smog, it's like it's sort of hard sometimes.
I don't want to call it smog. I know you're calling this smog, but as a native Californian, I'm going to say it is a cloudy day.
Really?
It's
So that's
gray.
cloudy.
This is not smog.
Okay. Wow, I didn't know
I wouldn't
that.
call this
Okay.
smog. It's just
See?
a gray day.
Wow.
You can see, look at the clouds on our ground shot. It's a gray day in
It's a
Southern
gray day.
California.
It's a gray day.
It's June gloom. I understand that you're not from California. You might think the whole city of Los Angeles is under smog.
Spending time, especially out here in Arizona, it's like when every day's sunny, you start calling clouds smog.
I guess so.
Okay,
No, but it is just a cloudy, gray day in Southern California right now, and June gloom today means more than just clouds at
That's
UCLA.
sad, very sad situation. Can you just imagine if you were in one of these buildings right now and you are just like probably freaking out of what's going on here? And
know.
unfortunately, once again, we have to talk about another school shooting, and this one happening at a huge campus,
Right.
a huge school.
Yeah, I mean, this is a major university. This is, sometimes we cover these shootings on campus, and I'm not going to say that one school is more important than another because, we do cover campus shootings in smaller towns or smaller schools that maybe you hadn't heard of before. I remember when we covered that shooting a few months back at that college campus in Oregon. It was a school that I hadn't heard of. It was a town I hadn't heard of. But when you say something like UCLA, I mean, from my earliest memories, I knew UCLA existed. This is a huge university. Thousands of people attend school here. It's a world-renowned university, and here this is happening.
Now we
the
got
engineering building.
And we got like a art portrait coming out. It's very interesting. Very interesting shot there, but yeah, they're just trying to protect anything they could get out of the building, I guess.
Right, let's go to the aerial shot now so we can see the
Yeah, a little bit more
presence.
action here. You could just look at the huge police presence, though.
But then you have this shot too. I mean, we have so many different shots coming in. You see this, group of law enforcement there. You see the amount of police units on the scene. Let's go ahead and listen to the chopper pilot. Is he saying anything? Is he reporting anything? Sounded like he was about to say.
We're being told, all helicopters are being told to pull back 2 miles. 2 miles now.
Wow. I wonder why. That's so interesting.
Yeah, I wonder if their frequency is jamming
we
them.
Have 24. We have about an hour. Santa Monica Airport is literally a minute away.
So it looks like they have about an hour left of fuel, and they're being told to pull back 2 miles.
Right.
Go back to being nice.
So they've
That's
been
gonna
there
be
for an
like
hour.
20 minutes.
Like he said, the Santa Monica Airport isn't too far, so if they need to refuel, they have a
then
source.
we can stay here much longer.
But if they do have to pull back, it's best that we go to the ground shot. I mean, look at the ground shot here at UCLA.
Wow.
Again, those of you just joining us want a brief update as to what we know so far. We know 2 victims in the UCLA shooting. TMZ has been reporting for the last hour that 2 people were killed on campus at UCLA. The shooting took place in the Engineering 4 building, and school is still in session. Many of you guys may be wondering, well, it's the summer, school is out. No, it's not summer
So
school.
how deep do they go into that?
UCLA is on the quarter system. So
Oh.
they have the fall quarter that starts in September, whereas other schools on semester typically start in August. So I went to USC, for those of you viewers who don't know. So, I have a very good understanding of how the schools there work. And UCLA starts their new academic year in September. They start that, their fall quarter ends in December. They start a winter quarter in January, which goes through about to the end of March or so. And then their spring quarter starts in April, and that is the quarter they're currently in. That quarter goes to June, mid-June. Now, this week specifically is the last week of classes. Next week was supposed to be finals, and then after that was supposed to be graduation for those seniors at UCLA.
Wow.
I'm assuming that's still the schedule there, but
Sure.
this is just a very weird last Wednesday of classes.
Yeah,
It's not your average last Wednesday of school.
Absolutely. Let's check the UCLA website, because they were giving some kind of update. Let's just see if they have.
UCLA specifically, their website does not
Well,
have.
that's the register. Go to the main one, because they did have a nice update page. Okay.
All right, Bruin alert, possible shooting at Engineering 4. Police on scene, stay clear, go to secure location and deny entry, lockdown. Now we'll go ahead and show you guys this update. So that was the headline on the main page, but it looks like they've actually updated their website
At
just 7 minutes ago.
Yeah, about 11:15, police have confirmed that 2 people are dead in a shooting at the engineering building. Police are now sweeping the building. See, they're still looking for the shooter.
That is so
Now
concerning.
that's scary.
Again, people asked to shelter in place. If maybe you live off campus and you have classes this afternoon, you are not able to access campus. I'm assuming all classes have been canceled.
Yeah, and well, that what that
and
tells
no
you.
one who is trying to get into the area probably has access to the area at this point.
No.
I'm just wondering if not only is the campus, blocked off, but the entire Westwood area.
Sure.
Now, basically UCLA and Westwood Village, they're boxed in by major roads like Wilshire Boulevard and Sunset. So I'm just wondering where the closures exactly are over there. If people can even access the Westwood Village area,
wow.
which sort of separates Wilshire Boulevard from the UCLA campus. You have this village where you have shops, restaurants. I mean, it's a whole little district. Movie theaters, the amount of Hollywood movie premieres that take place.
Yeah.
Just in this area right next to UCLA. There are certain theaters where, I can't tell you the number of premieres that I've covered right there at UCLA.
Wow.
So this is a very busy area, not only on campus, but the area surrounding the campus.
Sure. And a lot of people, were mentioning when we first talked about 2 victims, a lot of people were thinking, well, maybe it's a murder-suicide, but now when there's two dead and they're still looking for the shooter.
Right.
So now we got two victims. That's
I know. I'm seeing
That's sad to begin with.
a tweet from Lena, and I can't confirm any of this information. I just want to acknowledge her tweet. UCLA shooting terrifying. I saw a tweet that said a suicide note was found next to the victims. Is that true? Well, apparently that's probably been rolled out if they're still looking for the shooter.
Yeah, so, there's probably a lot of rumors out there right now. And unfortunately, that's, especially now in the digital age, it's probably very easy to start a rumor and then it'll spread like wildfire. But, we haven't had that confirmation yet. The only thing we do know is 2 dead, and they're still looking for a shooter.
It's absolutely awful. And then look at this shot. I mean, the aerial shots, we heard from the chopper reporter that they've been asked to move back a few miles, but you can see how foggy of a day it is. Look at this. We
Fog, smog,
cover... Mike, it's not smog. Think about the number of LA car chases we cover.
That's true.
Where we have a similar view from the same exact Fox chopper.
Yeah.
This is June gloom.
Yeah.
It's just a cloudy day and in Southern California, and you can see authorities on the ground. A lot of people just...
Well, it's
not sure what to do.
No, it's a very scary situation because this person's already killed 2 people. Who knows what's going to happen?
It's just absolutely devastating now that we've confirmed that 2 people were killed, and if the shooter is still on the loose, if it is an active shooter situation, which indeed it seems to be the case. Guys, we are working to get you guys new information. I'm monitoring the Fox website, Fox News National, trying to get you guys any information. Again, I appreciate those of you viewers that are tweeting us tweets, quoting the tweets, sending me new updates from various news sources. You guys are helping us gather the news so that we can present it to you, so I appreciate it. Fox News Now, first of its kind interactive broadcast where we are talking to you guys directly. We are seeing your tweets come in, and we are incorporating you into the news gathering process. So we really appreciate you guys tuning in, and send us any questions or concerns you might have. We'll try to get those on air. Again, as far as Fox National is concerned, Fox News is saying police are hunting down the gunman. The gunman has not been caught.
So very, very active still.
Campus is on lockdown. The entire city of Los Angeles. Tactical alert. I mean, this is a huge city.
And you know what this is? San Bernardino, remember when all the shots were fired? They were still looking for it wasn't probably, I think it was like 40 minutes, 30 minutes after the shooting when they had that shootout with the suspects then. So
no, it was way later. I feel like we were on it all day. I felt like it was hours where we were just covering the shooting. They were trying to find it, and it wasn't until later that afternoon where we saw that scene with the SUV, and then we had the body on the ground.
That was nuts.
San Bernardino, you and I were covering it that day too. I was wearing the sweater. I know that's a fun, weird fact, but I mean, I still remember it. It unfolded in such a bizarre way, and I'm not saying this is like San Bernardino at all. San Bernardino, there were many more victims. We had a description of multiple gunmen involved in that scenario. But still, we can't belittle the situation. We have to acknowledge that this is a serious situation. There is a threat right now because the gunman has not been caught, and all we can do on our end is bring you these live images, bring you the information that we know that has been confirmed. It looks like they are slowly evacuating students from that engineering building. I think the priority right now is getting students out of the engineering building, specifically where the shooting took place.
Yeah, and here's a weird thing though. They don't look shocked or really. I mean, this couple's moving a little quick, but they really don't.
Like they're not running.
We
did
see
some other people running, but at this point, I think they think they're at least relatively safe. You see the amount of law enforcement there, but. Again, these are just engineering students. I'm not to, push stereotypes, but they're typically the more studious of the college bunch, you know?
Yep.
And so it's quite concerning. UCLA has a good engineering program. It's a school that people come to, not only if you're a California resident. I mean, people come from all over the country, all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
Especially to Los Angeles. It's such an international city. So many students. I mean, I went to the rival school, USC, but the number of international students that come specifically for engineering programs, at least at USC, a huge number. So again, we have no details on the suspect, the victims, whether they're from here, whether they're international students. We have no specific details right now. We have no idea what the motive is.
And we
very limited information.
And about 15 minutes ago, we just saw a press conference, and it was very vague, wasn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
that just shows you that they don't have, I don't think, much to go on right now.
Yeah.
We got more than close to 3,000 of you guys watching the live stream right now of this horrible incident that we got to cover once again.
I know, it is very, very unfortunate.
All right, folks, it looks like there is going to be a press conference of some sort getting ready.
On this side.
You can see right here that they're trying to corral the media in one area here. So we should be getting an update live for you right here on the Fox 10 News Now stream right now. This is, wow, just another horrible school shooting that we got to talk about.
What a scene at UCLA, guys. We have multiple feeds coming in. We did have an aerial shot, but it is very cloudy today at UCLA,
Yes.
or well, in Los Angeles in general. I mean, I can go ahead and show you guys that feed of our aerial shot, but look at that. You can barely see anything right now.
Wow.
So we're going to stick with the ground shots for now of the scene at UCLA. We can confirm 2 people killed. That is the official word from the UCLA website themselves. TMZ has been reporting that 2 people were killed for over an hour now. They already had
always
the
get
scoop.
it. They always get it.
Now the question is, who's responsible for this?
I don't know, and it looks like we're getting really close to some sort of press conference,
Right.
and police still looking for a shooter.
An awful situation. Those of you just joining us, shooting at an engineering building on the UCLA campus. This building fairly close to the center of campus, for those of you familiar with UCLA. This building not too far from that central part of UCLA where the Poly Pavilion area is, and you know, that big grassy area.
Yeah.
It's just, it's really unfortunate. We know there have been 2 confirmed victims killed. The suspect is on the run, and school was in session. This was not, you know, spring break or summer vacation. This is the last week of classes for the spring quarter right now at UCLA.
Wow, what a horrible way to
And
end it.
It's awful. Again, no witness description as far as the suspect goes.
No.
We have very limited information regarding that, but we do have these images coming in live from Fox in Los Angeles.
You can see members of the ATF, FBI, local police, all there on scene right now as they are trying to figure out, get a grasp of the situation that happening within the last hour and 15 minutes. And we've been covering this here for you.